Welcome back, guys, to another Monday Shop Talk. Here's one that is always a hard one. How to deal with difficult customers. And sometimes you just have to be okay firing a customer. Totally okay. Now, there are several things you can do to help keep you from getting that far. And one of the things that I do, especially on a larger job, is to have a scope of work that clearly defines what both parties do, what they're going to do, what I'm going to do. And it is essential to have a lot of that in place first, because if it does get to court, if you've done everything you said you were going to do to the capacity that you said you're going to do it, you have a lot stronger case than if you didn't. So, so some of the things that we have started doing is, every customer that comes in, and we used to not, do it like this, but every customer that comes in, we get their name, address, phone number, obviously, their scope of work and what timeline they actually want. And once we have that complete scope of work down, they'll actually sign that. And then nowadays we actually have everybody sign a personal guarantee, because we've had several customers that will have, they provide a drawing to us, we machine the parts or we make the parts, and they take them back and they don't fit. I'm like, well, these are machined exactly or made exactly to your print with your tolerances, and they refuse to pay. And they give us a new drawing and they say that well, I sent you the wrong drawing, or I made a mistake in the drawing, can you remake them? And so they'll pay the one invoice, but they won't pay the other. And that's a relationship problem at that point. You've got to, I've got one customer that's very big, and if they did that to me, I would eat that son of a gun, because they send me so much work. So that is a personal decision that you have to work on. And it's one of those things that if they send you tons of work, like, I wouldn't even rock the boat. Like, hey, I'll take care of that. I totally understand. It happens to everybody, So you have to be okay with that. But then there are some that will just argue up and down. It's not what they wanted, but it's what, literally what was in the scope of work. And, then you have to take them to court. In the past, we didn't have like a personal guarantee or a very defined process for getting the scope of work, so it made it very difficult in situations like that. But once we had some of the paperwork in place, it's come to, we might have 0.5% of problem customers like that, So another aspect of this is, you know, building trust with your customer base. You've got to start on it and keep it maintained all the time. So now sometimes you've got some customers that just can't be happy, and then it's your personal choice on how you want to handle it. You know, I would say under no circumstance do you let the parts leave if they don't pay for it. You don't give them the part and just be like, you know, sorry, you know, I'm not going to do that. But definitely, you know, try to compromise. You have to compromise a lot, especially when you're the owner. And because I will say this, a lot of you know, customers that have that frame of mind that you basically need to fire, they'll try to throw, I'm gonna tell everybody that you try to rip me off. And you know, we've had a few of those. I've had customers that when we were doing parts and we were shipping it, you know, they ordered on a Saturday at like 11 o'clock at night, and then were just irate the next day or Monday that they didn't have their parts yet. And they're in California. I mean, we're in Mississippi. It's a 4-day travel time unless you pay overnight, and that's, you know, very expensive. But it's like I can't do it. You know, it's easier just for me to refund your money. It's like, it's not worth the stress for me. So de-escalating is a big thing, and this is a people skill that you have to learn. So when someone comes in argumentative, I just ask them, hey, look, I know something is bothering you, and or I know that you kind of have a problem. You know, talk to me. Let's talk this out and see if we can't come to a compromise that both of us will be happy with. So, but you know, you being in business as long as I've been in business, you see everything, you know, everything. So, yeah. So, I'd love to hear some of your nightmare stories and some of your good stories, you know, because man, they're out there, and it seems like there's never a shortage of stories like that. So again, like I said, I'd love to hear some of y'all's nightmare stories and your good stories that, you know. And you know, it's one of those situations too where I've messed up something and I just talked to them and said, hey, I screwed this up. I can either remake it, or I can give you this at a discounted cost, and you know, and that's, you know, just depending on what it is. And I've had several where you know, I broke an end mill or something, so it left, when the end mill blew up, it left a mark on the part, and that I can remake this, and or you know, you can have this one and I'll just give it to you at a discount. And you know, a lot of times they're like, where that is, it doesn't even matter, so I'll take it. I'll take my discount. So again, you're going to get every type of customer that you never thought you'd get, and the some that you hoped you'd get. So leave in the comments what your story is, and I can't wait to hear these. So thanks, guys.